It's Cleveland Indians baseball. It's Saturday, April 10th, 1971. We're at Cleveland Stadium as the Cleveland Indians take on the Boston Red Sox. It's game number 3 for Cleveland. They are 1-1 at this early point of the season, and they're taking on the 0-2 Red Sox. The Indians open up the season on Tuesday in Detroit, where they lost a close game, 3-2. Steve Hargan started. He had trouble with his control early in the game and pitched out of several jams, but he took the loss. He's 0-1 on the season. Vince Colbert and Chuck Meshmill pitched well in relief. Mickey Lolich beat them, giving up 4 hits, including a home run by Greg Nettles, and striking out 11. Then on Thursday at Cleveland's home opener, they faced the Red Sox, and Cleveland came away with a 9-6 victory. Sam McDowell started, and he pitched 5 innings. There was a 45-minute delay during the game. So, erring on the side of caution, they pulled him after pitching 5 innings. He gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. He walked 3. He struck out 4. Ray Lamb made his debut with the Indians. Pitched 3 innings, giving up 2 hits and 1 run. He had issues with his control, just like McDowell did. And in 3 innings, he walked 4 batters. Milo Pasquale came in the 9th inning to wrap it up as the Indians were leading 9-3. And he pitched 2/3 of an inning in his Indians debut, and it did not go well for him. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, giving up 3 runs. And rookie Steve McGorry was called in to face. Let me see who he faced. Doug Griffin. Was batting after Billy Canigliaro doubled with the bases loaded, driving in 3 runs. McGorry led off with a wild pitch, but then he induced Doug Griffin to fly out and end the game. Greg Nettles went 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Ray Fosse went 3 for 4. But the offensive highlight of the game was Ken Harrelson hitting his first home run of the year. Came in the 7th inning, and it was a grand slam. So far, that's the first grand slam in the major leagues this season. Sonny Siebert pitching for Boston had to leave the game in the 2nd inning with an injury. Or he left the game in the 3rd inning, I'm sorry. He formerly pitched for Cleveland and is used to pitching here, but it was a fairly windy and chilly day at the lakefront. So Eddie Casco pulled him, and then they sent in Ken Brett, Bill Lee, Mike Nagy, and Bobby Bolin in relief. And Bolin was the only one of the Red Sox relief pitchers who was able to hold off the Indians' offensive attack. They scored 9 runs and they had 11 hits. And the Red Sox walked 6 of the Indians' batters. Opener drew a crowd of 40,462. Not bad for a Thursday. And that's been the Indians' highest opening day attendance since 1965. Let's see who today's pitchers are. I apologize. I should have looked this up earlier. Pitching today will be Steve Hargan for Cleveland, making his second start, and Cal Kuntz for Boston. We will be right back with the starting lineups. And we are just about ready to start. Here is the starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. Leading off is a shortstop, Louis Aparicio. Batting second, the right fielder, Reggie Smith. Batting third, the left fielder, Carl Yastrzemski. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Rico Petrocelli. Batting fifth, the first baseman, George Scott. Batting sixth, the catcher, Dwayne Josephson. Batting seventh, the center fielder, Billy Canigliaro. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Doug Griffin. And pitching is Cal Kuntz. It is, let's see, 60 degrees, and the wind speed is 2 miles per hour in from left field, so the wind is coming in off the lake. Sitting in the sun at the stadium might be all right, but if you're sitting in the shade, even with that fairly mild wind, it's going to be cold down at the ballpark.
Play ball.
Defensively, the Indians line up with Ken Harrelson at first base, Eddie Leone at second, Larry Brown is a shortstop, Greg Nettles is at third, rookie John Lowenstein is in left field, Buddy Bradford's in center, making his first start of the season in right field is Vada Pinson. He's had a nagging leg injury since spring training. Catching is Ray Fosse, and on the mound is Steve Hargan. Hargan is a fastball pitcher.
Play ball.
Early in this season, he has a record of 0-1 with an ERA of 4.76. He was a starting pitcher on opening day. He pitched 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 9 hits, 3 runs, all of them were earned. And the Tigers that day hit 375 against him in his whip. Very early on is 1.941. Eyeball pitcher. He has a fastball, but it's not as fast as Sam McDowell or Steve Dunning. Enough is Louis Aparicio. He's hitting 111, no home runs, 1 run batted in. He is 1 for 9 on this early part of the season. Coming up, That's a ball. Ball one. That caught the inside corner, strike one. Hargan struggled with his control early in the game at Detroit. Pitched himself out of a couple jams, but did give up 3 runs. But the Indians ran into Mickey Lolich, who was excellent in his start. It's a ground ball to short. Larry Brown is up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Aparicio's limping. But he's going back to the dugout. Looks like he shook it off. And the crowd is giving him a nice round of applause. Aparicio, he was the Rookie of the Year back in 1956. Started out with the White Sox. Then he went over to Baltimore in 1963. Went over to the White Sox in 1968. And now he has come over to the Red Sox in 1971. Red Sox are the team that I remember him playing for. He played in 4 World Series. 1957 and 1960 with Chicago. They won both of those. And 1966 and 1967 with Baltimore. Seems odd that both of the Rookie of the Year for 1956 are still active. Louis Aparicio now playing with the Red Sox, and Frank Robinson, who is now playing with Baltimore. Batting second here is Reggie Smith, who's hitting .286. No home runs, 1 run batted in. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's fly ball to center. Bradford going back near the track, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Carl Yastrzemski. He is 0 for 6 on the season, looking for his first hit. He has scored 1 run. The 1-1 pitch. It's a bouncer to first. Harrelson's up with it. He underhands it to Hargan. 3 outs. Nothing across for Boston in the top of the first. And we go to the bottom of the first. It is Boston nothing, Cleveland coming to bat. Starting lineup will be leading off is the shortstop Larry Brown. Batting second to third baseman Greg Nettles. Batting third to right fielder Vada Pinson. Batting fourth to catcher Ray Fosse. Batting fifth to first baseman Ken Harrelson. Batting sixth to left fielder John Lowenstein. He's making his first start of the season. Batting seventh to second baseman Eddie Leon. Batting eighth to center fielder Buddy Bradford. Batting ninth to pitcher Steve Hargan. And that is the Indians lineup. Let's look at the Boston defense. They have George Scott at first base. They got rookie Doug Griffin at second base. Shortstop is Louis Aparicio. At third base is Rico Petrocelli. In left field is Carl Yastrzemski. In center field is Billy Canigliaro. In right field is Reggie Smith. Catching is Dwayne Josephson, and pitching is Cal Kuntz. Fastball pitcher, throws about as hard as Hargan does. Fly ball pitcher, he is spent most of his career as a relief pitcher, although he came over to Boston last season from the Mets. And in 23 games, he made 11 starts. Started out as a starter his first 2 years with the Cubs, 1962 and 63, and moved to the bullpen. So I'm not sure if this is just a spot start for him or if they're testing him out to see how he would do as a starter. Let's take a look at Boston's pitchers. Right now they have Sonny Siebert is out. He said he'll be out for about a week. Jim Lonborg is pitching in the minors down in Louisville. Another starter, Ray Culp, he is injured. He's day to day. And they have Gary Peters starting. So it looks like they're pitching is a little scrambled right early in the season. It should probably work its way up together by next weekend. Leading off for Cleveland is Larry Brown. He's hitting .250, no home runs and no runs batted in. The 3-1 pitch. Too high, ball 4. Here is Greg Nuttles. He's hitting .444, 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. 2 games, he's hit 2 home runs. So he's on pace to hit 162 home runs this season. Last season, he got off to a hot start with the glove, but a really slow start with the bat. And it looks like he is going all out to prevent that from happening this season. Here's the pitch, curveball, outside, ball 1. That's too high, ball 2. 2-0 pitch. Strike 1 called. Too low, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 2. Low, ball 4. Second walk of the inning given up by Hoops. Here is Vada Pinson. He's hitting .200. He's 1 for 5. No home runs, no runs batted in. His season has been a double. He has scored 2 runs so far. This is his first start of the year. Fouls it back, strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. Liner down the first base line, but that's foul. Strike 2. Too high, ball 1. It's a grounder, back to the box. Kuntz. His only throws are first. 1 out. Runners advance. You have 2 runners in scoring position. Runners on second and third. Here is Ray Fosse, who's hitting .500. No home runs, 2 runs batted in. He is 4 for 8. He has scored 2 runs and he has a stolen base this season. Let me see how many stolen bases he had last year. He had 1 stolen base in his short time with the Indians in 1969. He had no stolen bases in 1970. Surprised me if in game 162, if Fosse still only has 1 stolen base. Swing and a miss, strike 1. At the time this game was played, I was in the 1st grade. And I don't remember following the Indians at that point in time, but Ray Fosse was my favorite player on the team, so I probably watched some games with my dad. If he was home from the firehouse, he'd probably have this game on TV. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Hits a grounder in a left field base hit. Brown scores. Nettle stops at third as Yastrzemski throws it. He was not going to challenge Yastrzemski's. Here is Ken Harrelson. He's hitting .250, 1 home run, 4 runs batted in. 2 for 8. His home run on Thursday was a grand slam. The Hawks say he's enjoying the spirit of the team this season, but I'm guessing he's also probably looking over his shoulder at Wichita, where outfielder Chris Chambliss, who I've seen conflicting reports that he was the Rookie of the Year in the American Association in 1970 and that he was the Player of the Year in 1970. And they are, at Wichita, they are trying to convert Chambliss to play first base. And he is the Indians' prize prospect right now. Harrelson checked the swing, ball 2. It's fly ball to center. Canigliaro going back. It is gone. Home run number 2 for Ken Harrelson. Follows up his grand slam with a 3-run homer. Is off to a hot start. After being hurt for so often during his time in Cleveland in 1969 and 1970, he has become a really popular figure in Cleveland, and he is really itching to show the fans what he can do. Here is John Lowenstein. He's making his first start of the year. This is his first at bat. This is his first appearance of the year. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Just barely. That's the third walk of the inning given up by Kuntz. And here's Eddie Leon. He's hitting .200, no home runs, 1 run batted in. He is 1 for 5 on the season. Way off the plate, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. It's base hit in the left field. Lowenstein stops at second. Looks like at this point in the game, they are not going to challenge Yastrzemski's arm. Corner outfielders Yastrzemski and Smith are both very strong-armed. Canigliaro in center, they will probably try to run on him. Here is Buddy Bradford. He is 0 for 5 on the season. He's looking for his first hit. Harkins on deck. Check the swing, but that's called strike 1. Too high, ball 1. Ball 2. Strike 2 called. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Low and inside, ball 3. Kuntz is just missing the plate with his curve. Too high, ball four. That's his fourth walk of the inning. Bases are loaded. Here is Steve Hargan. He is 0 for 2 on the season. Playing it back, Hargan is
Foul ball.
not an especially good bunter. Another bunt fouled off.
Foul ball.
Here's the 0-2 pitch.
Strike
That
three.
caught the outside corner. Strike 3. 2 outs. Here comes Eddie Casco, and he is signaling to the bullpen. They are bringing in Bill Lee. Bill Lee's making his third appearance of the season. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings, given 2 hits. He struck out 2. He has no one-loss record, and his ERA is 3.86. He has a whip under 1, though. It's .857, and the hitters are hitting .222 against him. Here is Larry Brown making his second at bat of the, or coming up for the second time this inning. He walked his first time up. Nettles is on deck. There's a change. Strike 1 called. It's a bouncer to short. Aparicio bobbles it. His second error of the year. Aparicio is having a tough time on defense starting out this season with his new team, the Red Sox, and he's generally been considered one of the best defensive shortstops. Like that would have been Lowenstein that scored. Here is Greg Nettles. He's making his second plate appearance in the first inning. He walked his last time up. Way outside low, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Too high, ball 2. It's fly ball in center field. Canigliero's there. He's got it. And the inning finally ends for the Red Sox. But the Indians get 5 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. They left the bases loaded. We played 1 inning. It is Cleveland 5, Boston nothing. Last of the runs scored. The run scored by Lowenstein was unearned. All right, in the second inning for Boston, it will be Rico Petrocelli, George Scott, and Dwayne Josephson. Petrocelli is hitting 167 with no home runs, 1 run batted in. He is 1 for 6. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball in center field. Bradford drifts over, and he's got it. 1 out. Scott, who is hitting 200 in this very young season. No home runs, 1 run batted in. He's 1 for 5. 1-2 pitch. It's fly ball in center field. Bradford's there. He's got it. That swing by Scott, he looked like he wanted to launch that ball into Lake Erie. Here is Dwayne Josephson. He's looking for his first hit of the year. He is 0 for 9. 1-2 pitch. He hits fly ball center field. Bradford's there. And he puts it away. Nothing across for Boston in the top of the second. We played an inning and a half. It is Cleveland 5, Boston nothing. Buddy Bradford's been busy. He's made 4 putouts in this game so far. That he made all 3 of the putouts in the second inning. For Cleveland in the second, it will be Veda Pinson, Ray Fosse, and Ken Harrelson. Pinson's 0 for 1 today. He grounded the pitcher in the first, and he advanced 2 runners in the score. The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. 1 out. Here is Ray Fosse, who's 1 for 1. He singled in the first. That scored Larry Brown. 2-1 pitch. It's a grounder up the middle. Aparicio to his left. Has it. He throws Fosse out. 2 outs. Here is Ken Harrelson, who's 1 for 1. He hit a 3-run homer last time out. The 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Aparicio's there. He's got it. And that's 3 outs. Nothing across for Cleveland in the second. We played 2 at Cleveland Stadium. It is Cleveland 5, Boston nothing. For Boston in the third, it will be Billy Canigliaro, Doug Griffin, and Bill Lee. Here is Billy Canigliaro. He is hitting .429. The home runs. He has driven in 3 runs. 3 for 7 this season. Thursday at the home opener in the 9th inning with the bases loaded, he hit a double that cleared the bases. Cut the Indians' lead from 9-3 to 9-6. He's the only Canigliaro with the Red Sox now. His brother Tony was traded to California. He went over to California, and Boston received rookie Doug Griffin, who was on deck. Relief pitcher Ken Tatum, who was the Rookie of the Year in 1969, and outfielder Jarvis Tatum. Jarvis Tatum was released by the Red Sox in spring training, and he is now playing in Japan. Here is Billy C. He was a prime candidate for Rookie of the Year last season in the first half of the year. But then he got hurt. And he ended up only playing in 95 games. And if you recall, the Rookie of the Year last season ended up being Bert Blyleven of the World Series champion Twins. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a liner into left field. Lowenstein with the dive. And he's got it. What a play by John Lowenstein. 1 out. Lowenstein, he is a versatile player for the Indians. He can play both the outfield, especially the corner outfield positions, and he can also play in the infield. Here is Doug Griffin. He is 0 for 6 this year with 1 RBI. He's looking for his first hit. As I mentioned before, he came over from the Angels. Last year with the Angels, He was one of the September call-ups. He got into 5 games. Got up to bat 8 times. He was 3 for 8 in his very short stint with the Angels, and hit 375 for them. He's a good defensive second baseman. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball to center. Bradford's there. He's got it. Bradford's been busy in center field. That's his 5th putout. Here is Bill Lee. This is his first plate appearance of the season. 2-2 pitch. It's a grounder to third. Nettles has it. To Harrelson, 3 outs. Nothing across for Boston. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Cleveland 5, Boston nothing. Cleveland in the 3rd, it will be John Lowenstein, Eddie Leone, and Buddy Bradford. Lowenstein walked in the 1st. Lowenstein's first appearance. This game marks Lowenstein's first appearance of the season. 2-2 pitch. It's a grounder to second. Griffin up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here's Eddie Leone. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the 1st. The 0-2 pitch. It's a little roller to first. Scott has it. The underhand toss to Lee. 2 outs. Here is Buddy Bradford. He walked in the 1st. 0 for 5 on the season. Looking for his first hit. 1-0 pitch. It's a grounder to second. Griffin has it. Throw to first. 3 outs. Nothing across for Cleveland. Yeah, Lee with the screwball. It's a lot of ground ball outs. Going into the 4th inning for Boston will be Aparicio, Smith, and Yastrzemski. Cleveland has 5 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They left 3 men on base. No runs, no hits, 1 error. For Boston, they have left no one on base. Aparicio's 0 for 1. He grounded to the shortstop last time up. 2-2 pitch. It's grounder to short. Brown is up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here is Reggie Smith. He's 0 for 1. He flied to deep center last time up. 2-0 pitch. Fly ball to right. Pinson near the line. He's got it. 2 outs. Here is Carl Yastrzemski, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Ken Harrelson last time. 3-0 pitch. That's why. Ball 4. Yes, it's the first base runner from Boston today. Here's Rico Petrocelli, who's 0 for 1. He flied out to center field last time up. Wing and a miss. Strike 1. It's a liner. 3rd base. Nettles is right there, and he's got it. 3 outs. No runs. No hits. No errors. 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cleveland 5. Boston nothing. We go to the bottom of the 4th. For Cleveland, it will be Hargan, Brown, and Nettles. Steve Hargan is 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the 1st inning. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 2 for Billy. Here is Larry Brown, who's 0 for 1. He walked in the 1st. And And then in his second plate appearance in the first, he was safe on an error. That's for Lowenstein with the Indians' fifth run. 2-2 pitch. It's a grounder up the middle. Aparicio to his left. Throw to first. 2 outs. And here's Greg Nettles, who's 0 for 1. He walked in the first, and then his second plate appearance in the first, he flied out to the right fielder, or to the center fielder, Canigliaro. It's a grounder in a right field base hit. Fits up with it. That is the fourth hit of the game for Cleveland. Here is Vada Pinson. He is 0 for 2. He grounded the pitcher in the first, but he advanced 2 runners. He struck out in the second. Bounce, runner on first. Swinging him a strike 1 at the fastball. Curveball. He fouls that one back. The 0-2 pitch. Check the swing. They appeal. Nope. That's a ball. Ball 1. It's a slow roller to first. Scott, he'll take it himself. That's all for Cleveland in the fourth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. After 4 innings here at Cleveland Stadium, it is the Indians 5, the Red Sox nothing. For Boston in the fifth, it will be George Scott, Dwayne Josephson, and Billy Canigliaro. George Scott is fly to center field in the second. 2-2 pitch. It's a fly ball in the left field. Lowenstein coming in. That's a shallow fly, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Dwayne Josephson. Josephson is 0 for 1 today. In fact, he is looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 10 on the season. He flied out to Buddy Bradford. Second, that was the inning that Bradford made all 3 outs. It's another fly ball to center field. Bradford's there. He's got it. Buddy Bradford's been busy today. He has made 6 putouts. The only player so far who's made more putouts than Bradford is first baseman George Scott of Boston, who's made 7. Here is Billy Canigliaro, who's 0 for 1. He lined to left field last time up. Remember a while back probably in the 80s, maybe the 90s, I read a book about the Red Sox, one of Peter Golenbach's oral histories. And Joe LaHood, who's Canigliaro's teammate right now on the Red Sox, said some bad stuff about Tony Canigliaro and some really bad stuff about Billy Canigliaro. Part of the Yastrzemski wing of the Red Sox in that era, and not the Canigliaro brothers. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a grounder up the middle, base hit. It's the first hit of the game for Boston. Here's Doug Griffin, who's 0 for 1. He flied to center field last time up. He hits a base hit in the left field. Canigliaro grounded at second, and he took third. Looked like a rare defensive lapse for Greg Nettles. He was slow covering the bag after that. He dove and couldn't get up and get to the bag in time. Here is Bill Lee, who's 0 for 1. He grounded a third last time up. If they let him hit or pull a pinch hit. Oh, looks like he's going to hit. Fosse goes up to talk to Hargan. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. Ball 1. That almost got away from Fosse. Too high, ball 2. Wing and a miss, strike 1. Like a lot of pitchers, Bill Lee likes to brag about his hitting. It's a grounder at first. Harrelson comes up with it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is Cleveland 5, Boston nothing. It is an official game here at Cleveland Stadium. Bottom of the 5th for the Indians will be Ray Fosse, Ken Harrelson, and John Lowenstein. Fosse is 1 for 2. He singled in first, driving in Larry Brown, and he grounded to the shortstop in the second. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Aparicio to his left. He has it. Throw to first. 1 out. Ken Harrelson, he's 1 for 2. He had a 3-run homer in the first and grounded to the shortstop in the second. The 0-1 pitch. It's a blooper and a center field base hit. Here is John Lowenstein. He's 0 for 1 today. He walked in the first and grounded to second in the third. Wing and a miss, strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. Low, ball 1. Right now, in the very early part of the season, we're only 3 games into the season, and Elvin Dark has only been using Ted Uhlaender as a pinch hitter and a defensive replacement in real life, and I haven't been able to determine why. I don't know if Uhlaender just had a bad spring training or if he's got like some nagging injuries. So we'll see about Uhlaender. He had a good year with Cleveland in 1970. Curveball, low, ball 2. The reason I mention that is because they've been starting Buddy Bradford. And Buddy Bradford has shown himself to be a decent role player with the White Sox. And he did all right as a fill-in player for the Indians when he came over last season. But he is off to an ice-cold start in 1971. Low, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. It's a grounder to short. Aparicio, the second for 1. No throw to first. Let's look at that one again. Harrelson went into Griffin hard, and Griffin went end over end. They're looking at him. Casco's looking to the dugout, but Griffin seems emphatic that he wants to stay in the game, and they're going to let him stay. And the crowd is giving him a nice round of applause, just like they did for Louis Tiant when he came up lame for a few minutes in the first inning. Here is Eddie Leon, who is 1 for 2. He singled in the first, and he grounded out to first. Changeup. Fouls it back. Strike one. Too high. Ball one. Ball two. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's a fly ball in center field. Pagliaro's there, and he's got it. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We have played 5 in Cleveland. It is the Indians 5, the Red Sox nothing. For the Red Sox in the 6th, it will be Louis Aparicio, Reggie Smith, and Carl Yastrzemski. May have seen the last of Bill Lee. Game. Aparicio is 0 for 2. He grounded out to the shortstop, both in the first inning and the 4th inning. 3-1 pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. Lowenstein's after it, but it makes the seats. Looking at this picture, I completely see the areas that my dad and I, and then my dad and I, and my brother, and then sometimes my grandfather, later on my cousin, sit in the general admission area, which was roughly from the foul pole to the bleachers in both left field and right field. I remember occasionally they would have old-time policemen, like retired policemen and firemen, working at the gate, and sometimes my dad would show his fire department badge, and occasionally they would let us in for nothing. And then I remember one of the old-timer guys telling my dad that if he carried my brother through the gate, he didn't have to get a ticket for him. So my brother was like 4 going on 5, and my dad is still carrying him into the ballpark. I don't remember ever sitting in the bleachers with my dad. I think I sat in the bleachers once or maybe twice in my entire lifetime. All right, here's the 3-2 pitch for Aparicio. I apologize for my boring trip down memory lane. It's base hit in the left field. Lowenstein throws it back in. And here is Reggie Smith, who's 0 for 2. Flied out to center in the first, and he flied out down the right field line in the 4th. Fastball, caught the corner, strike one. Check on Hargan. Doing a little better with his control. He's thrown 75 pitches, and 45 of those have been strikes. He only walked 1 batter. Running high in the count, but he's getting guys out. Curveball, too high, ball one. Fastball at the knee, strike two. The 1-2 pitch. Hits fly ball down the right field line. Pinson's there, and he's got it. 1 out. Aparicio holding first. Carl Yastrzemski, he is 0 for 1. He grounded at first, and he walked in the fourth. He was the first base runner for the Red Sox. He is 0 for 7 so far in this young season. He's looking for his first hit. All right, I am going to take a brief time. All right, we are back. This is WJST in Parma, Norwich, and Tuscaloosa. Top of the sixth. Indians lead 5-0. Red Sox have 1 out. Aparicio on first, and Carl Yastrzemski hitting. Changeup, ball one, too high. Fly ball in right field. Pinson going back on the track, and he's got it. No, it's off the wall. Looks like they may have bounced out of his glove. Aparicio scores, and yeah, stumbled around first, so he has a long single. They didn't even take a minute to confirm. No error on that play. That fooled me. I thought that was out. Here is Rico Petrocelli. Let's look at that one again. Ball, Pinson's going back. Yeah, it looked like he had it, but it must have bounced out of his glove. Or maybe hit his glove. But they ruled it a hit. Here is Rico Petrocelli, who is 0 for 2. Fly to center and line to third. His lead 5-1 in the sixth. Fouled it back. Strike, foul tip. Pops it up, third base side. Nettles is after it, but it makes the seats. No balls, 2 strikes. Just outside, ball 3. He swung at one that was clearly out of the strike zone. 2 outs. Here is George Scott, who's 0 for 2 today. Flied to center in the second. He flied to center in the fifth. Josephson's on deck. Changeup, too high, ball 1. Ball 2. Yeah. Hargan sometimes has control problems like this, and there have been times in the past where he would have a good start, go about 5 or 6 good innings, and then be prone to giving up one big inning. And after that became a trend, I would usually move him to the bullpen. Curveball, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. 2 outs, run around first. Outside, ball 4. Here is Dwayne Josephson, 0 for 2. Fly to center in the second, fly to center in the fifth. He is 0 for 11 on the season, looking for his first hit. Curveball right down the middle for strike 1. That's a good sign when he can get his curveball right on. Fastball, ball 1. 2 call on the fastball. Low and outside, ball 2. It's a base hit in center field. Krupski scores. Scott stops at second. It's 5-2 Cleveland. That's Josephson's first hit of the season. Here is Billy Canigliaro, who's 1 for 2. He lined the left in the third and singled in the fifth. That he had the first Boston hit of the game. Swing and a miss strike. It's grounder to short. Brown is up with it. Tosses to Leone at second. That'll end the inning for Boston, but they get 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Cleveland 5, Boston 2. I thought Bill Lee might be done for the day, but he comes out for the 6th inning. It will be Bradford, Hargan, and Brown. Buddy Bradford is 0 for 1. He walked in the first and grounded to the second baseman in the third. The 0-2 pitch. It's base hit in the left field. Stremski's up with it. Bradford going for second. Slide. He is safe. That's his first hit of the year. Here's Steve Hargan, who's 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Pick the swing, but that's called strike one. Ball 1. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. High and inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. True ball. Strike 2 call. It looks like Hargan was taken on that. 3-2 pitch.
Strike 3.
3. Swung and a miss. That's the 3rd time that Hargan struck out. Here comes Eddie Casco, and that'll be all for Billy. Coming in to pitch is Bobby Bowlen. Boland's making his 2nd appearance of the year. Here in a 1 game, 1 inning pitch. He gave up 1 hit, a double, and he struck out 1. And that was against Cleveland on Thursday. Want to double check, but I believe he was the only effective relief pitcher Boston Thursday. Here is Larry Brown. He's 0 for 2 today. He walked. He was safe on an error. Both of those plate appearances were in the 1st inning, and he grounded to the shortstop in the 4th. We have 1 out, runner on 2nd. Indians lead 5-2. Nettles is on deck. In there below the belt, strike 1. Pops it up to 3rd, foul ground. Petrocelli's after it. And he's got it. 2 outs. And here is Greg Nettles, who's 1 for 2 today. Walked in the 1st. Fly to center in the 1st, and then he singled in the 4th. Indians sent 12 men to the plate in the 1st inning. All right, they sent 11 men to play. One 0 pitch. It's a fly ball in the left center. Smith and Canigliaro after it. It's off the wall. Bradford scores. Nettles at second with a stand-up double. That's his second double of the year. Cleveland's up 6-2. It's Vada Pinson who's over 3 today. Grounded to the pitcher in the first. Struck out in the second. And grounded to George Scott in the fourth. Winging him to strike one. Inside ball. Two called. It's base hit in the left field. Yaz is up with it. Nettles rounds third. He's going for the plate. Throw from Yastrzemski. Not in time, and that throw got away from Josephs. Pinson took second on the throw, and they're giving Yaz an error, and Pinson took third on the error. That's the second error of the game for Boston. Here is Ray Fosse. Cleveland increases their lead to 7-2. Fosse's 1 for 3. He singled in the first, driving in a run. He grounded to short in the second and grounded to short in the fifth. Ken Harrelson's on deck. Fosse looks at strike one. The 1 pitch. That's at the knees. Strike 2. The 0-2 pitch from Bolin. Fly ball down the right field line. Smith after it, and he's got it. Did a nice diving catch on that play. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. And Smith scored. Probably prevented a run from scoring with that catch. We have played 6 in Cleveland. It is the Indians 7, the Red Sox 2. Target comes back out. This may be maybe his last inning. It'll be Doug Griffin, Bobby Bolin, the pitcher spot, and Louis Aparicio for Boston in the 7th. Doug Griffin is 1 for 2. Fly to center in the third, and he singled in the fifth. He's still limping a little bit. He was noticeably shaken up when Harrelson barreled into him. In the, let me see, that was Yeah, that was in the 5th inning. 1-2 pitch. It's base hit in the right field. Pinson's up with it. Throw back in. Here is Bobby Bolin. It's his first plate appearance of the season. Oh, they're calling him back. It will be Mike Fiore pinch hitting. Fiore, he came to Boston from Kansas City last season. What he's doing this year. He appeared as a pinch hitter Thursday in Cleveland, and he walked. in his only plate appearance. Nettles coming in, playing him for the bunt. Ball one. Too high, ball two. Action in the Indians bullpen. And Rick Austin is getting up. Warm up. The 2-0 pitch. Curveball. He fouls it back. Strike 2 balls, 1 strike. Low, ball 3. Just outside, ball 4. That's his 3rd walk of the game. Zelvin Dark. And it'll be all for Steve Dunning. He gets a nice hand from the crowd. Coming in a pitch is Rick Austin. Austin is making his first appearance of the season for Cleveland. He's a fastball pitcher. He's a hard thrower. He appeared in 33 games for Cleveland last year. He had 3 starts. Pitched in 66 2/3 innings. He had a record of 1-5 with 4 saves and an ERA of 5.4. He is 25 years old. Here is Louis Aparicio, who's 1 for 3. Grounded as shortstop in the 1st. Grounded as shortstop in the 4th. And he singled through the shortstop in the 6th. Low, ball 1. Red Sox have runners on 1st and 2nd. Nobody out. Curveball, too high, ball 2. All 3 on the fastball. Too high, ball 4. Bases loaded. Fossey is barking at the umpire. Here is Reggie Smith, who's 0 for 3. Fly to center in the 1st. Then he flied down the right field line in the 4th and in the 6th. He is 2 for 10 so far this season, but he's a dangerous hitter. He had 37 home runs last year, and he had 31 home runs in 1969. He is not really the guy you want to see up at this spot. Fastball, swinging him as strike 1. Another fastball, ball 1. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. Fouls it back. Count remains 1-2. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Cleveland leads 7-2. Up and in, ball 2. Ooh, that looked close. Wait, he has a fly ball in the left field. Lowenstein has it. This should score Griffin. And Griffin tags up with the run. That'll make it 7-3. Charge that run to Steve Hargan. And Boston has runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out and Carl Yastrzemski up. Yaz is 1 for 2. He grounded the 1st in the 1st inning. He walked in the 4th. and he singled off the wall in right field in the sixth. That scored Aparicio with the Red Sox first run of the game. Low and outside, ball one. Too high, ball two. Low and outside, ball three. Vio pitch. It's at the belt, strike one. Yeah, it's taken all the way. Too low, ball four. Bases are loaded again. Action in the bullpen again. Looks like Steve Dunning is getting up to warm up. Swing and a miss, strike one. It's a fly ball in center field. Bradford's there. Has it. You should score Fior. Fior scores. That makes it 7-4. 2 outs. And here is George Scott. And he represents the tying run. And he is another dangerous hitter. He had 23 home runs in 69. He trailed off a little bit. He had some injuries last year. He had 18 home runs. He had 23 doubles. See if the Indians can get out of this spot. It's grounder to first. Harrelson's up with it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs. But the Red Sox get 2 runs. 1 hit. 1 error. They had 1, 2, 3, 4 walks and 2 sacrifice flies. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is Cleveland 7, Boston 4. New pitcher for Boston is Ken Tatum, making his 2nd appearance of the year. Ken Tatum was the Rookie of the Year in 1969 for the Angels. He pitched an inning and 2/3 in the Red Sox opener against the Yankees. He gave up 2 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those were earned. And he took the loss in game 1 for the Red Sox. With California, he had 22 saves in 1969 when he was the Rookie of the Year, and he had 36 saves for the Angels in 1970. Last year, the Angels looked like they were making a serious run to win the Western Division last year, and they just folded up in the last 6 weeks of the season. For the Indians in the 7th, it will be Ken Harrelson, John Lowenstein, and Eddie Leon. Harrelson is 2 for 3. He had a 3-run homer in the 1st. He grounded the shortstop in the 2nd. He singled the center in the 6th. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder to 3rd. Petrocelli up with it. Go to 1st. 1 out. John Lowenstein. He's 0 for 2. He walked in the 1st, grounded the 2nd and 3rd, and grounded into a force out in the 5th. This is the first game that Lowenstein's appeared in this year. He's looking for his first hit of the young season. Last year, he appeared in 21 games for the Indians, and he went 20 for 58. Had a 345 average. He had 5 home runs. Drove in 12 RBIs. So he had an OPS of over 1. He had himself, came up a couple times for emergency replacement due to injuries, and then he was called up in September. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fly ball into center field. Canigliaro comes in, he dives, but he can't make the play. But he doesn't let the ball get past him. It's a base hit. Single for Lawrence. First hit of the year. Here is Eddie Leon, who is 1 for 3. Singled in the first. Grounded out in the third and flied out in the fifth. It leads 7-4 at the bottom of the 7th. Ball 1. Fly ball down the left field line, but that makes the seats. Right. Another fly ball down the left field line. Yaz is after it, and he's got it in foul ground. Well, here is Buddy Bradford, who is 1 for 2. Walked in the first, grounded in second and third, and doubled in the sixth. That was his first hit of the year. He is now 1 for 7 on the year. Go to first. Ball steps back. He scored in the 7th. He scored in the 6th. 1-0 pitch. Out wide. Ball 2. Pops it up. Josephson after it. But it makes the seats. Strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs. He looked at strike 2. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3.
Strike
3 called. No runs. 1 hit. No errors. 1 left. We played 7 here in Cleveland. It is the Indians 7, the Red Sox 4. New pitcher for Cleveland, Steve Dunning. Steve Dunning, you might recall, was the Indians' pick in the first round of the draft last year. Signed off the campus of Stanford University. Worked out with the team while they were in Anaheim, and they decided to bring him right up to the Indians. He has had to spend any time in the minor leagues. He throws some pretty serious heat. Not quite as fast as Sam McDowell, but he's close. He was in 20 games last year. He started all of them. He had 1 complete game. He had a record of 4-3 with an ERA of 3.96. His biggest issue was working on his stamina. He would usually start to tire out in about the 6th inning. For the Red Sox in the 8th, it will be Josephson, Canigliaro, and Griffin. Josephson is 1 for 3. By the center fielder in the 2nd, and again in the 5th, and he singled in the 6th. Scoring Yastrzemski with Boston's 2nd run. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, up the middle, base hit. 2nd hit of the day for Josephson. Here is Billy Canigliaro, who's 1 for 3. He lined out in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, and grounded into a force play in the 6th. Throw to first. Josephson's back. First pitch to Caneliero. Swing and a miss. Strike one. He was way out in front of that changeup. 0-1 pitch. Fastball at the belt. Strike two. The 0-2 pitch. Anthony's called strike three. 1 out. Here is Doug Griffin, who's 2 for 3. He looks like he is fully recovered from his fifth inning injury when Ken Harrelson barreled into him at second base to break up a double play. He is 2 for 3, flied out in the third, singled in the fifth, and singled in the seventh. Ken Tatum's on deck. Strike one, caught the corner. The 0-1 pitch. Strike two. Right now, Alvin Dark is trying to decide whether Steve Dunning or Ray Lamb will be the team's fourth starter. Behind Sam McDowell, Steve Hargan, and Alan Foster, who is scheduled to pitch tomorrow, making his Cleveland Indians debut. The 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder to short. Brown. To second for one. Go to first. Not in time. 2 outs. Griffin on first. Here's Ken Tatum, and they are going to bring in Joe LaHood to pitch in. Hood is 0 for 1 on the season. He was a pinch hitter in Tuesday's game against the Yankees and a pinch runner in Thursday's game against Cleveland. He was one of the runners who scored on Billy Canigliero's ninth inning trip or double. He appeared in 10 games with Boston in 68. 80 games in 69. He had 107 at-bats and 27 games with Boston last year. He got up to bat 97 times and hit 278 with 4 home runs and 14 runs made. He's an outfielder by trade. Fastball outside, ball one. 1-0 pitch. High and in, ball two. Strike one called. High and away, ball three. 3 balls, 1 strike. Just below the belt, strike two. Throw to first. Just barely got it. Another throw to first. Griffin's back safely. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball down the right field line. Pinson going for it, but it makes the seats. Full count, 2 outs. Run around first. Payoff pitch. Changeup. Hits it right back to the pitcher. Dunning has it. Tosses to first. 3 outs. 4 runs. 1 hit. No errors. 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is Cleveland 7, Boston 4. Steve Dunning will hit for himself. Making his first plate appearance this year. In fact, today is his first appearance of the year on the mound. 1-2 pitch. That caught the corner. Strike 3. Josephson dropped it. So he throws it first for the out. Here is Larry Brown, who's 0 for 3. Walked in the first. Then his second time to the plate in the first, he was safe on an error. Lowenstein scored on that, scored the Indians' fifth run, grounded the shortstop in the fourth, and popped the third in the sixth. 3-2 pitch. Ball four. The new pitcher I neglected to mention for Boston is Sparky Lyle. Lyle is making his first appearance of the year. Been with Boston since 1967, strictly a relief pitcher. He had 21 saves last year. Record of 5-5 and 21 saves. He is a fastball pitcher. He throws hard. Usually gets him to put it on the ground. Greg Nettles is 2 for 3. Walked in the first. Then he flied out to center in the first. Singled in the fourth. And he doubled off the wall in the sixth, driving in Buddy Bradford. That was the Indians' sixth run of the game. Too high, ball two. Swing and a miss, strike one. Base hit into center field. Migliero throws it back in. Runners on first and second. One up. Here is Veda Pinson, who's 1 for 4. Got a pair of groundouts. Struck out in the second. He singled in the sixth. That scored Nettles. Well, Nettles scored on Stremski's error. That made it 7-2 Cleveland. See if they call that an earned run, which probably would have scored whether it was an error. Curveball, strike one. Fouls it back. Right. Outside, ball one. It's bouncer to second. Griffin to Aparicio to first. Double play. 4-6-3 double play. He's had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the ninth. It is Cleveland 7 and Boston 4. These are making a defensive substitution in the ninth. Ted Ullander coming into play center. John Lowenstein will move the shortstop. And Roy Foster, with an excellent outfield arm, is coming into play left. For the Red Sox in the ninth, it will be Louis Aparicio, Reggie Smith, and Carl Yastrzemski. Aparicio is 1 for 3. He grounded in the shortstop in the first and in the fourth. Singled in the sixth, and he walked in the seventh. They're calling him back. Phil Gagliano will pinch hit. Phil Gagliano, he is 1 for 2 on the season, hitting .500, no home runs, 1 run batted in. appeared as a pinch hitter in both of the Red Sox games this year. But most of his career with the Cardinals, that was traded to the Cubs in midseason last year, and he came over to Boston. I'm going to take a short break and see. He came over to the Red Sox in a trade for Carmen Fanzo. One for two as a pinch hitter. Fly ball into center field. Uhlaender coming in. He's got it. 1 out. Here is Reggie Smith, who's 0 for 3. Fly to center in the first, and then in the fourth and the sixth. Fly down the right field line, and then in the seventh, flat out the left field. Sacrifice fly. Doug Griffin scored. Griffin scored with the Red Sox third run of the game. Yaz is on deck. The 0-1 pitch. Grounder to second. Leone up with it. Throw to first. 2 outs. Red Sox are down to their final out. And here's Yastrzemski, who is 1 for 2. Grounded out in the first. Walked in the fourth. Singled off the wall in the sixth. That was one that looked like it may have glanced off of Pinson's glove. I thought that was a catch. Drove in Aparicio for the first run of the game for Boston. He walked in the seventh. That was Yaz's first hit of the young season. 1-2 pitch. Grounder to second. Leone up with it. This should do it. Throw to first. 3 outs. That's the game. The Indians win 7-4. We'll be right back with the wrap-up. Seven runs, 4 hits. I'm sorry, 7 runs, 10 hits. No errors for Cleveland. 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for Boston. Hargan gets the win. He is 1-1. Steve Dunning gets the save. First of the year. Kel Kuntz, who didn't make his way out of the first inning, takes the loss. He is 0-1. Indians scored 5 runs off him. 4 of those were earned. Indians sent 11 men to the plate in the first. They had 2 men on with walks. Then Pinson grounded out to the pitcher. Brown and Nettles moved into scoring position. Fossey singled. That scored Larry Brown. Then Ken Harrelson hit a 3-run homer. Then Lowenstein walked. Leone singled. Bradford walked, loading the bases again. Hargan struck out. They pulled Kuntz for Bill Lee. Then Larry Brown hit a grounder to the shortstop, but Aparicio made an error. That scored Lowenstein with the 5th run of the inning. And Cleveland took a 5-0 lead. The Red Sox, who didn't get a base runner until the 4th inning and didn't get a hit till the 5th inning, cut into the lead a bit in the 6th. Aparicio led off with a single. Smith flew out. Yaz hit a deep flying ball to right. It looked to me like Pinson had it, but it apparently glanced off his glove. That scored Aparicio with the first run of the game for the Red Sox. Then later in the innings, Scott walked. Yaz taking second. And Dwayne Josephson with his first hit of the year singled. That scored Yaz, and that made it 5-2 Cleveland. Bottom of the sixth, Bradford led off with a double. Was his first hit of the year. They rolled the dice and let Hargan hit in the sixth. It didn't look clear whether Hargan was going to come out for the seventh inning or not. He struck out. Brown popped out to Rico Petrocelli. And then Greg Nettles hit a double. Driving in Bradford, that made it 6-2. Then Pinson singled. Nettles was rounding third, heading for the bag. And Yaz made a throwing error that let Pinson take third, but they declared that an earned run. That made it 7-2. And then Hargan came out for the seventh, giving up a single to Doug Griffin. Walking pinch hitter Mike Fiore. And that was all for Hargan. Rick Austin came in to pitch. He immediately walked Louis Aparicio. That loaded the bases. Reggie Smith flied out the left. Griffin tagged up and scored. That made it 7-3. Then Yaz walked, loaded the bases again, and Petrocelli flied out to center, and Fiore tagged up and scored. That made it 7-4. And then Dunning came in to pitch. In the eighth, he immediately gave up a single. Then he got the next six men out in a row in the eighth and the ninth, so he gets the save. Both teams left 8 men on base. And the star of the game has been named Steve Dunning. Final score again, Cleveland 7, Boston 4. And one last thing before we sign off. And it's tomorrow. Where Boston will be playing the Indians again on Sunday, April 11th. That will be Alan Foster making his debut with the Indians. It's Gary Peters. That is Gary Peters, who was a longtime pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. And then he came over to Boston last season. So once again, the final score in an exciting game at Cleveland Stadium. Cleveland 7, Boston 4. Cleveland improves their record to 2-1. And Boston remains winless at 0-3. Hope you enjoyed this game, and thank you again for watching. This was WJST, Parma, Norwich, and Tuscaloosa.